Oh my. So you weren't lying when you said it was a great place. Aside from all the dust, it all seems new. How is it possible that nobody has taken any of this stuff? When they left in a hurry, just like the rest of the urbanization plan, they probably ran out of money to collect everything, or they thought they'd continue in the future and forgot about it. Who knows? Point is, this place is pretty far away and secluded, so nobody ever comes here. It's like my own personal hideout. Don't tell anyone, or that'll be the end of my luck, okay? Oh, and don't wander too far in here. The other wing isn't really in the best condition, so it's dangerous. Oh, you already told me that 1,000 times on the way here. Yeah, I'll be careful. But the rest is amazing. It could even be open in this state. There's already furniture, and there's even some books over here. The wing of the building was open for a limited time before they abandoned it. Almost everything remained here, so that's a good thing for us, I guess. In any case, looks can be deceiving. There's no maintenance, and most of this stuff is broken somehow, so it's not really safe. For that reason, I only use the library. But back to my point, I've fulfilled my part, so now you don't have to join an uncomfortable playground in the middle of nowhere. Luce nods at everything I say, although her expression obviously expresses that she's thinking about something else as she circles around the tables in the room. She stands still with her eyes fixated out the large window and begins talking to me. Tell me, you've seen my drawings. What do you think about them? My sincere opinion? Luce nods once again. You're good, but not the best I've seen. But I'm convinced that you got something special. I'd like to ask you to never write anything in your life again, though. Oh, I see. The concepts are still interesting, though, especially considering how hard it is to draw fantasy without any references. I think you have talent, but you need a bit more practice. I'm no expert, though. Seriously? You think I have talent? Luce sighs in relief and then shoots me a skeptical look. She turns around, making eye contact with me, wearing a new serious and intimidating demeanor. Demeanor. Nobody has ever told me that I have talent before. Not sincerely, at least. Yeah, some people tell me that I draw well, others just make comments about it. Truthfully, I've never fully committed myself to drawing. Doodling in the margins of notebooks isn't really drawing. The expectations between the two are completely different, and when you try to do something real, something unique, turns out it's not being any different from the sketch in the margin. How can you show that to anyone when you can't even face the reality of it yourself? Then you start tirelessly repeating, I only need practice, but it doesn't matter how long you spend, the improvement is minimal. And 2 days after you meet someone who has never drawn anything in his life, you finally learn not to mistake compliments with real talent. How can I show anything I've drawn to anyone? Or rather, how can I show anything I've drawn to anyone? There's no way I can proudly talk about this, the work I spent weeks creating, when someone else could draw the same thing in several minutes. What can I say that I've finally learned to draw? Or when can I say that I've finally learned to draw? When will I finally be able to show off a masterpiece? The worst is how, even when you find an artist who's worse than you, it turns out they just have their own style. Even if you don't understand the difference between style and talent, you have to believe them anyways because you're really a nobody. Your self-esteem gets crushed because you don't have the privilege of doubt, and who's to say they're wrong? Did I do something to earn that privilege? Only kids will make that argument with a phrase as trivial as, I don't care what others say, because you know what? They do matter. They matter so much because the only way to truly see ourselves is in a reflection given to us by others. You learn to imitate, improve from criticism, and help others improve in return. From our tastes to our maturity, everything depends on our relationship with others, and denying it is because it's convenient is wrong. After all, I thought I was a good artist when someone would tell me that they like my meaningless doodles. Why would I turn a deaf ear to the truth during the hard times? It would be unfair of me. But there's nothing I can prepare you for the bitter taste that real justice leaves behind. Luz folds her arms, her eyes unsure whether they want to express pride or embarrassment for finally revealing her true feelings. I guess it's just venting at us. But she pushes her feelings aside and resumes speaking in spite of my total astonishment and in spite of that unexpected context of her speech. Well, now you know the reason as why I don't like telling anyone about my little hobby. It's no more than that, it's just a pastime. I don't want to mention it because if someone tells me that I have talent and encourages me to go for the next level, then I have to carry the weight of the consequences. Don't you think it's better for me to try to find the motivation to continue on my own? My true talent? Luz looks confused after her last rhetorical question. She shakes her head a little, switching out her sullen face for the usual smug smile I'm used to seeing. And now you've gone and dared to tell me I have talent. Look at what you've done, giving me hope and everything. How am I supposed to react? Oh yeah, I have an idea. How about I read this aloud? Reaching into her pocket, Luz retrieves something. It's rectangular and small, like a notebook. An incredibly familiar notebook. Hey, that's my notebook! When did you steal that? Give it back! In the car. It fell when you gave your license to the officer. It basically fell on top of me, and I couldn't resist looking at it, considering it's the infamous notebook Ziva mentioned so often. When you went to return the keys, I read through it a little, although I don't understand it at all. What is this, some kind of fairy tale? I am so embarrassed. I try to retrieve my notebook from Luz, but she turns her back to me and starts reading through it again. Reaching the Sun, Chapter 1, The Right and the Left. So foretold the tales that once upon a time... Wait, give me that! No way, teasing you is too much fun. I finally managed to grab my notebook out of her hands. The first thing I do is check all of the pages, making sure that nothing is amiss. It's not like I've memorized each and every page, especially not when I have the habit of ripping out some of the pages. It's a bad habit I developed, and at this point, I do it without thinking. I told you about my embarrassing secrets, now you tell me yours. It's only fair. Also, I say I liked what I read, but I didn't have time to finish it. Do you normally write stories in your free time or what? Okay, so I guess it's revealed that Ciarán just writes like short stories, I guess, in his notebook. Well, first, don't ever touch my stuff without my permission. Second, it's not like I'm dedicated to it. I don't even think about the stories, alright? It's something I do because it happens. And what happens next in Reaching the Sun? I don't know, I just started it. You don't know? Aren't you the author of it? I sigh. It's like Luz has to get away with everything she does, and now she's stringing me along from one place to another without giving me time to think. I have a bad feeling about all of this, but I can see the eyes of the car thief shining with curiosity. She won't be letting me off the hook this easily. Excuse me. I'm not good at writing endings, you know? I have some ideas, yeah, but the more I progress through the story, the less control I have over it, until it finally ends. Reaching the Sun is a really simple and short story that I wasn't even planning on writing, so I don't know how to continue. Well, that's a pity. Don't leave things unfinished, man. Look, to tell you the truth, I was also about to give up on my drawing hobby not too long ago. You saw the garbage in the playground with your own eyes. I don't want to show the world something that I myself don't like, all those failed attempts. It's like I was saying before, about motivation. I've been thinking that maybe I need someone around who will force me to keep working. Someone by my side that forces me to do it, even if I die from embarrassment along the way, and even if I realize that I'm not cut out to be a real artist. What can I say? I couldn't think of anyone who would help me in that way. You know how everyone is. They're playing the game until they eventually toss everything aside. But now, there's someone who knows my secret, and I can't do anything to hide it from him anymore. I don't like where you're going with this. Why not? The more you think about it, the harder it is to take the plunge. It's crazy and we both know it, but it's gonna happen and you can't stop it. Don't make decisions without me. I'm not gonna accept that. But you already did, a while ago. I want you to continue writing your story, but from now on, it won't collect dust in your notebook. We can come here together from time to time and keep each other company while we work. You and your story, and me and my drawing skills. That way, maybe we can even use what you write as inspiration for my illustrations. The things we're both embarrassed about can become something we share, a little secret. Didn't I say before? Two people can't truly become friends until they share a secret between them. Yeah, and you almost got us killed, too. I don't think this is a good idea. I don't believe we'll get very far with your plan. I was a total stranger not too long ago, wasn't I? A pervert, even. So what's with this sudden change of heart? Well, it's either a hunch or insanity. Or maybe I'm just tired of the usual monotony, and any excuse for change is good. And you just happen to be the first to offer that. You'll have to find a different nut to go along with your plan. Incorrect. You already accepted. As long as you didn't lie to me earlier. John McLazy, this is my third requirement. From this moment onwards, I want us to meet up here regularly to work together. Together we'll finish your fairy tale. You keep getting my name wrong on purpose to mess with me, right? Oh, it's not so bad. Hanging out with a smug individual working on our stories. Oh, I guess Ciarán doesn't like writing, but I don't know. That seems fun. Why not? Reaching the Sun, Chapter 1, The Right and the Left. So foretold the tales that once upon a time, there was a wolf without a past or memory who wanted to reach the sun. On the occasion that the wolf stops being useful to his pack, that wolf will become a solitary creature until the day it dies. There once was a wolf who couldn't, or didn't want to, find his own place to rest eternally. Since then, he's been wandering the land, erasing his trail with each step, always with a melodious pace like a sad song, trying to find a glimmer of happiness. Even after leaving his footprints on more than 1,000 roads, the wolf realized he was unable to ever find happiness, or he didn't know where to look. More lost in his thoughts than on his path, he heard a great wise man exclaim that happiness came from the sun. Of course, he couldn't understand those words, nor could he ask for an explanation. Bereft of any other clues, he decided to go to the sun. It was unfortunate for the wolf that he didn't know how to get there. Getting involved in a trip like no other he had made before, he now wondered how he could solve his dilemma. However, it didn't take long for the wolf to find a possible answer to his conundrum. He came upon the wagon of a mobile circus. There were two odd characters that appeared before the wolf. A jester and a clown, or maybe a clown and a jester. One was fully dressed in white, the other in black. Their height difference was so apparent that it was impossible to make eye contact with them at the same time. "How are you, my friend?" "Friend, how are you?" The two noisy yet merry comedians exchanged gazes, smiles, and words as if they shared one unified mind. The wolf, confused, didn't know what to say. They weren't giving him a chance to say anything. They were too caught up in each other. All the wolf managed to ask was for their names. "Her name is right," the short black clown stated as he pointed to his partner. His name is Left, the tall white jester snorted as she pointed to her partner. Who are you? They asked while smiling as they pointed at the wolf in unison. The wolf didn't hear them, or maybe chose not to. His mind was too focused on what seemed to be a hint to his mystery. Both of them looked quite happy, he thought, and their trade requires them to share their happiness with the world. Maybe they know how to reach the sun, or get closer to it. Convinced by his reasoning, the wolf quickly asked them if they knew a way to reach that giant, flaming, shiny ball in the sky. The two opposites shrugged, surprised that the wolf would ask such a weird question. And why would you want to go so far away? They questioned him. A wolf that wants to reach the sun? Or rather, okay, I'm trying to left and right. Who's the... I don't know. Who's the jester and who's the clown? A wolf that wants to reach the sun, Right pondered. Oh, now I know who you are. The clown and the jester huddled together, certain of the wolf's identity. What was that name, Right? It was, I got it. Right snapped his fingers. It's Skull. Okay, so Right, because I don't know. Again, I'm not a voice actor, but I try to differentiate sometimes by giving us them slightly different voices, but it's pretty confusing, right and left. Anyway, it's Skull. Why would it be that name? Left dismissed the gesture. Hati. His name is Hati. The two performers began arguing about the wolf's identity, forgetting about his presence. The canine, tired of their bickering, bared his fangs at them and asked for their attention. He got mad, right? Said the short black jester, gloomily pointing at the wolf. I think we made him angry, Left, said the tall white clown, gloomily pointing to the wolf. They looked at each other and sighed in unison. Then, as if in an apology, they decided to answer the wolf's question. Right stood in front of the wolf, Left behind him. The first one to speak was Right, who from a distance looked smaller than usual. To Left's right, on the other side of the sea, you can see the sun rising. The wolf turned around. Left raised her right arm and pointed to the east. From this distance, she appeared to be even taller than before. To Right's right, behind the mountains, you'll see the sun setting, said Left. The wolf turned around again. Right raised his right arm in tangent, pointing to the west. If you want to reach it, then you'll have to race towards left, Right exclaimed. The wolf looked at Left. Left raised his left arm. Left raised his left arm this time. The wolf didn't really mind running if it meant he could finally reach the sun. He wasn't the fastest in the animal kingdom. He was a wounded wolf after all, but he considered himself fast enough to surpass the pace of the calm celestial body. It may look slow, said Left as he turned himself around. But it's the exact opposite, said Right as she turned around. Because most likely, he has already won. They said before shrugging in unison. The wolf felt confused and a little angry when Right smiled as she turned her black back to him, and Left cried as he turned his white back to him. But it was as they told him. The sun always rose from one direction and fell from another. If the wolf waited behind the mountains, he could catch it as it passed. Grateful for the help he received, the wolf said goodbye to the strangers, who had only become even more strange after speaking. Waving their hands, Right and Left, asked the wolf one last question. Which is your name then, Skull or Hattie? The wolf sighed as he closed his eyes and gently shook his head. I'm just a wolf, he answered. So be it, if that's what you wish to call me. The wolf decided to go west, behind the mountains, certain he found the answer he had sought out. But once he arrived there, he realized that the sun kept going even further, beyond the towns. Still, he continued chasing it beyond the towns, but the sun kept running, setting little by little behind the fields. Next, he ran through the fields. When he finally thought he would be able to meet the sun as it was setting, he found that it even went further beyond, past the sea. From the shore, the wolf was unable to do anything. He felt powerless for being unable to reach the sun. Tired, he lay down on the sand, his pride crushed after discovering that the jester and the clown were right. He couldn't win against the slow sun in a race. His target had disappeared, giving way to night, leaving only the wind and darkness as the wolf's companions. The wolf had to seek shelter before it got too dark outside, but he was tired and in pain. He could barely move at all, and time was running short. He wondered what he could do. Everything was the sun's fault for deceiving him and running away like that. Those two silly tricksters were also at fault for not warning him beforehand. How could the sun bring happiness like this? Something so deceptive couldn't bring any joy. Night came, and the wolf expected the worst as he closed his eyes, fearing any danger. But none ever came. After opening his eyes, he could see the beach, perfectly illuminated by a cold and beautiful silver cloak. It was the moon. It had listened and answered to the wolf's prayers, offering it to him the shimmering help he had needed. The wolf was grateful, but the moon was so far away, it was difficult for her to hear the wolf. So he filled his lungs and raised his head in determination, and a resounding howl covered the sea and the skies with a feeling of gratitude. Awoo! So, foretold the tales that once upon a time there was a wolf, whether the past or memory, who wanted to reach the sun. I guess that was his short story, and well, that's the ending to his short story. Did he write it afterwards, or was the ending there this whole time? And you know, while I was reading it, I was thinking the wolf is most likely a metaphor for Ciarán, you know, and the two jesters are probably Oz and Ziva. Kind of makes sense, you know. So that's just a metaphor for his own feelings in the form of a short story. Anyway, gonna admit it? Gonna admit your guilt? Oz tries to blind me with the light of his cell phone as if he's interrogating me. I believe I can take his cell phone and rip off his entire hand with a single bite, but I instead opt to control my cannibalistic instincts. Proof doesn't lie. You lied to us about what happened on D-Day, so I won't accept any of your pitiful excuses. What do you do with my sexy flamenca dialis? What? Flamenca dialis yesterday. I assume he's talking about Luz? I'm totally in favor of you using Roman titles if you're consistent about it, but that girl has her own name. I won't deny that a lot of things happened, but I have to keep it a secret. Not everything that happened was even legal. Capandro, you could get her pregnant. Wrap it up. Is that all you think about? You're right. That's impossible. It's you we're talking about here. And if I'm involved in it, then you have no chance whatsoever. At least not until after I score first. Someday, we'll have to work on that mental image of me you've created. Classes end for another day. Oz and I leave the school together, although he falls behind a bit as he says goodbye to a few of his friends. I wouldn't mind telling Oz the truth, but I'd have to tell him everything that happened, or else I'd have him thinking that I assault people. The problem is Luz. She made me promise that I wouldn't tell anyone about her hobby or her new partnership in general, and that yes, I accepted her unreasonable deal in the end. We made that bet during the basketball match, so I now have to deal with it. What I'm not really convinced about is whether or not it's possible to hide the existence of our new meetings at the library. What am I even thinking? It's not like I actually care if anyone finds out. I'll do my part and I won't snitch, but if someone gets suspicious, I can't stop them. Well, earlier, Ziva said something about going to the makeup committee meeting. The one for the grad and prom stuff. Since the meeting yesterday didn't turn out so well. Oz catches up with me after he says his goodbyes to his friends, but the vibrations of his cell phone makes him pause for a second. He excuses himself as slides his... That's a typo! Anyway, I think he excuses himself as he slides his thumb over the screen and discovers an enormously unwelcome surprise. Not again. Cure. I lean my hand towards my friend, feigning indifference despite having a terrible hunch about what it may be. You couldn't possibly you couldn't possibly still be logged into my email account. Well, this time, I'll admit I left it logged in on purpose. After what happened last time, I wanted to know if it happened again, and it did. Alice tries to show me the screen, but instead I grab it from him directly and peer at the screen. Yes, there it is, sent only a few moments ago. Another email from the mysterious sender. From Harry H. to Kieran Edian. Once more. Subject, not for everybody. Can you accept a fake reality? There's no going back after the first step. Nor can taking back what was lost be considered winning. If after knowing the truth you still wish to be sincere, be careful. Because that will make you the greatest liar. Until forever, and good luck with the first consequence. I stand still, completely paralyzed. Finally, Oz says that what I've been thinking after he reads the contents of the email. What? Well, that's what I'm wondering. What's the meaning of this? No, this email is slightly different from the other two. This time it says until forever. Does that mean this is going to be the last email? I guess so. I just wanted my figurine, but the first sentence clearly states that you can't take back what's lost, nor are you able to undo anything. Whoever sent this is making fun of me, saying that I'll never see her. What's the rest supposed to mean? If you're sincere, then you'll become the greatest liar? Isn't that contradictory? The ends of the emails up until now were the same. I don't know if I should be angry or happy that there won't be more. All I really know is that I won't take the bait ever again. The mystery remains unsolved. Without any clues or hope, maybe I should forget about all of this. I've already got enough to deal with. I have to meet with Luce in the library this afternoon again, thinking of which I still have a few hours until it's time to meet up. There's still time, since it's my secret base anyways. I'm not going to stop using it because there's a new squatter there. I decide to head to the library early. It isn't that easy though. Once I reach the park, I run into someone who stops me in my tracks. I think the best part of going to the library is taking the short stroll around the pond. Right? It's so nice. I've been waiting here for you for a couple of days. What you been doing? A quiet stroll with no one to disturb me, completely alone, walking through nature with only the song of the leaves dancing above the pond. How many poets have showcased such tender moments in the lyrics of their love letters? Ciarán can't see me! He's gone blind! Oh, that means I'm invisible to him right now. This is a great discovery. I can't miss out on this opportunity. Stop! It was a joke. Stop tickling me. Ah! Stop it, Claire. It's a miracle! I've cured Ciarán. I cured Ciarán. And now he can see me. These hands have been blessed with supernatural powers and I didn't know it. Blind people can also be ticklish, idiot. And my eyes are perfectly fine, except for my myopia, but that's another story. And why do you think they're fine now? Unless you forgot about me. I've already told you that it was just a joke. Oh, really? Claire's sudden appearance doesn't surprise me. I even kind of expected her to be here. Maybe this girl's craziness is a good way for me to forget about reality. Her carefree attitude seems to have made the real world melt away. Oh, tell me something, or rather, tell me something, Ciarán. Did you forget about me? Would you forget about me if we never ever met again? Hiding under her hat in embarrassment, Claire asks me a very weird question. She looks worried to hear my answers, so much so that it's perplexing. Look, I may forget someone else, but not you. I couldn't forget about someone as peculiar as you that easily. Can't simply erase a big weirdo from your memory, wouldn't you say? I see. Claire sighs discouragingly. It isn't the reaction I was expecting from her. My intention was the opposite, but she immediately comes back to her senses and returns to the usual Claire. I've already decided anyways. Next time, don't make me wait as long. I was worried that you were dead or something like that. Well, you aren't totally wrong about that. I faced death a couple of times. Could it be that you're a ghost and you're already dead? That would explain why you couldn't see me earlier. We've already been over that. Just let it go, please. Our conversation resembles a comedy, or comedian's routine. Talking with Claire, I discover that we have more in common than just our love for the pawn. Oddly enough, I'm not annoyed by our accidental meeting. We met not too long ago, so to speak, and even if it was shocking at first, now it's pretty much the opposite. She's definitely insane, yes, but it's one of those comedic instances, compared to the cruel satire that the universe frequently throws around anyway. I see. You're depressed. Where's the confident Ciarán that I know? The one who likes to flip off innocent clouds. I prefer to inform you that such a Ciarán never existed, but once you aren't that far off, or I guess you aren't that far off. Let me guess, you're upset about your plans going awry? Something or someone in your life has disrupted your normally pleasant peace? That's not too big of a feat to guess that since you're generalizing, but yes. Don't play hard to get. I can read you like an open book, Ciarán. You can't deceive me. Don't you have the answer book there? It'd be pretty useful. Maybe. Let's go for a walk and you can bring me up to date. One shouldn't trust strangers, but sometimes it's precisely with strangers to whom you can speak the most freely, since you aren't restrained by social ties. Nevertheless, when I speak with Claire, I don't feel like I'm talking to a stranger. It feels like a lifelong friend to me. So I tell her my troubles, if I even call them that, as we take our stroll out of the park. Following her pace, I start vaguely describing all the events that had transpired this week. The weird emails, those were the first straw, and then about all of the other tribulations that came after that. I skip everything that I think is better not to mention, especially things related to Luz, since I promised that I wouldn't tell anyone. And in this fashion, we walk around town together as I divulge all the details of my disastrous life to her. When I'm done with my complaints, we reach what appears to be our destination. And where are we? On the main avenue, you can find a shopping mall with a few random stores, like a supermarket, restaurants, or even a movie theater. It's nothing special, but we don't have anywhere else to go in this small town. Now that I think about it, I used to go to the underground arcade a lot. I wonder if it's still there. I guess, are we on a date with Claire? Is she legal? Claire was surprisingly attentive and quiet all the way there. She had this mature demeanor that contrasted with her previous behavior. It made me wonder if she had swapped places with a twin I wasn't aware of or something. Well, all of my doubts were dispelled the next time she opens her mouth. I only listened to half of what you said because it was boring, Ciarán. Learn to summarize. Next time, try to fit it into 140 characters or less. You could at least pretend that you were interested. I don't know why I even bother. I forgot that you don't have that thing called common sense. I didn't stop listening because it was uninteresting. It was because the answer to your worries is so simple that it's hilarious. What? Do you have a solution? I would love to hear it, since I don't even know what triggered those emails in the first place, you know? I mean, you usually piss someone off and that's how you make enemies, but this time? At first I thought it was all some kind of prank, but now I'm not so sure whether... hey, are you listening? What are you doing? Ignoring my complaints, Claire fixates her attention on a store display window. Clothes, shoes, and all kinds of other feminine accessories are displayed. It's truly a temple for fashion trend followers. Big corporations win once again when it comes to catching people's attentions. Good job, designers, for making my words fall on deaf ears. This is the last time I tried to reason with Claire, and also the last time I tried to defeat a cute pair of shoes. If you're so interested in this store, why don't you go in? It's not like I was saying anything important. Claire staggers a little, biting her lip before replying to my subtle insinuation. It's not like I'm all that interested, it's just that I usually come alone and it's different if, well... Claire gently falls to her knees as she speaks. It almost looks like as if she's dying from sadness. I shouldn't spoil her after what she did, but I'm not the kind of person who gets angry over this kind of thing, and it's easier to let it go. Everyone is happier this way. Well, we can go inside if you like. I'm not embarrassed to go with you, if that's what you're worried about. In the end, I'm pretty sure the only things that'll fit you are in the kids department, though. Ha. Meanie. I was kidding. Don't be like that. Claire starts punching the floor as she turns her face away from me. Well, the thing, you know, you can tease people, but the thing is, if you tease people about stuff that they can't really change, you know, like their height, that isn't gonna change anytime soon, it kind of hurts, you know, right? So a good rule of thumb is don't tease things about you know, about people's I don't know, like characteristics that they can't really change, right? They can't really change right there and then, or they can't change easily anyway, right? Don't tell me that I was right. She crawls away, now appearing to be completely lifeless. Did I hit a nerve? Well, you did. Your clothes really are from the kids section. At your age. Well, yeah. You're a bully. No bullying! Kier, stop bullying. Anyway. I try to keep shaming her for as long as possible, but not as much as I would have liked to, since Claire seems to forget about it once she sees another display. From then on, she takes me from place to place. She never buys anything, but gets interested often, which I can't understand since she doesn't plan on buying any of it. Look, Ciarán, let's go here next. She gets excited over the smallest of things and talks like it's the first time she's ever seen them. Look, Ciarán, there's a creepy guy here. Her constant shouting over everything makes me worry about the people around us. They've started staring at us and crowding around. Look, Ciarán, he's a thief. He's stealing something. She goes running after the criminal without even letting me open my mouth to speak. Look, Ciarán! Suplex! Ah! I clear my throat to get Claire's attention, but it doesn't seem to work, and she continues on doing her thing after slamming the alleged robber against the tilted tile floor. Nani? She just suplex a person? Look, Ciarán, I caught the thief. I'm sure they're gonna present me the key to the town for this. I'd like to thank everyone who helped me get this award. Ciarán for bringing me here, the thief for letting himself get caught, the guy manning the spotlight who came out of nowhere, and the keysmith for this key. The keysmith? The guy who makes keys. Well, it's called a locksmith. Don't be a fool. That's his nemesis. In any case, thanks to all of you for coming here, and I hope to see you again during the Emmys. Thank you. Claire ends her speech by clapping and manages to infect me with her enthusiasm, which causes me to join in. Bravo, bravo. Do you even know what you were doing, Claire? If you end the speech on a high note and clap, people will cheer for you no matter how terrible it was. Give it a try. Good to know. But I was actually referring to the fact that your thief is just a mannequin and that the entire shopping mall is staring at us now. Oh, okay, so that's what it really was in reality. They were cleaning the display, see? There's no theft in progress. Claire looks around and realizes how confusedly the crowd around us is whispering about the show she had performed for them. Why did you tell me sooner? Well, I tried at first, but after a while, I wanted to see how long it'll take you to realize it on your own. Claire tries to hide under the brim of her hat and pushes herself to stand behind me, embarrassed. Meanwhile, not too far away, I can see some onlookers calling out to a stocky security guard and pointing in our direction. I know now that I have quickly come up with an escape plan. I have to come up with an escape plan. Thank you everyone for attending the annual robbery drill at the mall. What happened here is exactly what you shouldn't try to do. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's meet again next year. A round of applause. The crowd infectiously begins to clap, even though they're unconvinced. Still, it's enough for me to grab Claire's hand and get away from the crime scene just in time. In the end, it's true that clapping was spread from one to another if you do it correctly. We reach the last floor, and I peep out from the edge of the catwalk to confirm that no one is following us, especially that stocky guard from before. For some reason, he looked familiar. Is he the cop? Doing some part-time at the mall? I don't know. Regardless, I managed to remain calm. I'm used to pulling pranks with Oz, although I usually let him take the spotlight instead, first and foremost. I don't like taking the lead, and from what I've seen, Claire doesn't either. They're gone, Ciarán? Yeah, but don't worry. I'll make sure to remind you about this incident periodically so that I can shame you for it. Don't joke about that. I'm not. I laugh at Claire's expense. Even though she grabs the brim of her hat with both of her hands, I can still see a slight smile on her blushing face. I don't usually do things, you know. You're a bad influence. I got carried away because of you. I know this. That speech about the key to the town would have been better written if it wasn't the first time you gave it. Couldn't you come up with anyone better to give thanks to? Although I'm only mocking her, this time Claire's laugh is forced. She evades her eyes and refuses to give me a clear answer. It reminds me of what she said back at the first store we went to, and I start wondering if I should be more careful when talking about friendships around her. And in any case, it would be best to go somewhere else and avoid drawing any more attention to us. There may be more guards looking for us. And where can we go? I scratch my chin thoughtfully and look at my surroundings until I notice a billboard for the movie theater. It's open for the first sessions of the afternoon right now. I don't say anything, but Claire still seems to notice what I'm thinking. You want to go in? There's a movie playing that I want to watch, so I'm not opposed to the idea. After discussing it with Claire, she also seems to be interested. It's been in theaters for a while. It shouldn't be long before they take it out. If we want to watch it, it's now or never, but... Claire is already buying tickets before I can finish my sentence. I didn't tell her whether or not I wanted to go now, but she doesn't seem to care. No refunds are allowed, and I still have some time before I need to go to the library. All in all, I decided to shrug it off and go along with a new plan of action. We arrive at the movie theater, find our seats, and the movie starts. I get the feeling that I missed something pretty simple. It takes me a while, but it's when the projector lights up the screen that I realize what it is. There's nobody else in the theater. We're completely alone in this giant, dark room. She and I. Looking at her, she doesn't give off any vibes of being bothered by the situation. I, however, can't stop thinking about it. First, I'm not stupid. I know what it means for a boy and a girl to be alone together in this kind of situation. It may only be because of Claire's unique, carefree, and direct personality that she's like this, but the memory of her confession from that time is still vivid in my mind. She dismissed the idea afterwards, and that made me believe that she was just kidding around, but that doesn't change the fact that it did happen. I admit that Claire is cute in her own way, and she even said that I'm not too bad myself. Wait, no, that was after saying that I'm ugly, I think. What's going on in this girl's head? Could I use this chance to, for example, hold hands with her? No! Don't hold hands! What are you thinking? That's the most lewd thing you can do! Oh no! It's normal in movies, right? Did she bring me here because of that? It's not like she looks up to the task that I don't have any reason to do it. Hey, Ciarán. I gulp in surprise when Claire interrupts my train of thought, whispering with her lips hovering close to my ear. Now will be a good moment for you to feel me up. Nani? I jump up from my seat and run to the next room before Claire finishes talking. I try to slow my breathing and retrieve my heart, which should be lying on the floor somewhere, before returning to Claire to demand an explanation. What are you saying? Why do we need to go that fast? I mean, I was thinking about holding hands at most. Seriously? I was just teasing you. But I guess I could show you that not everything I wear is from the kids section. No! I want to die. Have my body burned with such that nothing of me remains. Do you want to hold hands anyways, now that you suggest it? I face Claire, her eyes showing a genuine curiosity towards my thoughts and actions. I remain silent, unable to do so much as think clearly about it. It takes some time, but my hand slowly moves away from my chair arm and gets closer to hers. It's only for a couple of seconds, but I'm doubtful, and when I finally get close, Claire moves her hand away. Time's up, Ciarán. I already told you, I won't accept any of your half-baked answers. After all, to me, the most important thing is that you're truthful. She repeats the same words that she said back at the pond. Then she smiles and returns her gaze to the movie screen. Truthful? What did that have to do with being truthful? I wanted to hold her hand. What's the problem with that? Is it somehow wrong? Yes, Ciarán. That's the most perverted thing you could ever do. Holding hands. Anyway, I only wanted... Why did I want to hold her hand anyways? The movie is over some time later. I go back into the shopping mall. I look at the floor, then at the ceiling. I look everywhere except towards her. I couldn't enjoy the movie after everything that had happened. Maybe next time I should come alone. It was her who bought the tickets without asking, and I just followed along without thinking about it first. By the way, I should pay her back for my ticket, and it's not okay to leave her like this. And it might break the ice after all of that. Hey Claire, how much do I owe? When I turn around as I take out my wallet, I can see Claire making her way towards the hallway that leads to the washrooms. I follow her around, but I'm mistaken and realize that it wasn't the washrooms that she was looking for. Instead, the entrance to the metallic stairs that lead outside the building is open. There is a sign that clearly states that only authorized personnel can go up there, but that doesn't seem to matter to Claire. And on top there, on the rooftop, I find her looking out the entire town. Alright, we're on the rooftop. Isn't it? Well, in real life, it's usually well, it's not illegal, I guess, but it's like it's restricted, you know. I guess we have to save over. I guess this one, or can we? I guess we have to delete it first. We delete a save. I guess so. Delete this and save them over. Save. It's not saving. What? I'm trying to save. Oh, well, no, wait, this is autosave. Oh, okay, that's what the A stands for. Derp. Anyway, I guess we only got 2 pages here. Okay, we can save here. I'll write this save. Alright.